Hey guys, it's Bri. Welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be another install as part of my Road Glide 2020 upgrade series. If you're into stuff like that, you should consider subscribing. Really the intent of this build out is to put the most high quality products on a motorcycle and to really give it a customized look. So to that, this just came out last week and I could not be more excited. This is the Custom Dynamics XX LED headlight for the Road Glide. Now this is not, they have not made an LED light for the newer Road Glides. So this is the first light that has come out. I've been waiting for this light forever. I am doing full LED lights on the bike by Custom Dynamics, thanks to them sponsoring this build. So huge thanks to Custom Dynamics. And in full transparency, they also supplied me with this headlight for free for this install. So this is going to be their XX headlight. Now it's going to come in two versions. This is the ProGlow version. If you've seen, and I can throw it up here, I had my Ultra Limited, I had the ProGlow system on it. It allows the lights you can see on the outer rings here and the X part to change colors. It's kind of a cool feature. It's even cooler when you do the whole bike. And that's what I'm going to be doing in an upcoming video. So like I said, this is that pure whiteness that you've come to expect from Custom Dynamics. You can see here in my trim lights just how pure that white light is, my turn signals, and I really like the way these Custom Dynamics lights look. There's also a lifetime warranty on these. So you buy it once, you don't have to worry about it. So let's get into the light itself. So this is going to be the Road Glide headlight, really well constructed. I have not put in a Road Glide headlight before. So this should be pretty interesting. Like I said, you have the two lamps here. You have the X pattern. And also, as a reminder, this does come available in white. So if you see this and you're like, well, the colors aren't really my thing, I'd rather pure white, you can run this in pure white. But they also have a pure white version. I want to say it's like $50 cheaper if you don't want to get into the ProGlow series. Now it's going to be a standard connector for your headlight. And it's going to have these two little pigtails here. And this is the part that hooks into the controller that allows the lights to change color and allows you to do some really cool patterns for the bike. Now, if you're going to do that, you can buy this complete lighting kit. These are going to be two separate purchases, but this lighting kit allows you to light the entire bike up. You can change colors. You can do some really cool things. Like I said, check out the Ultra video. You can see some really cool things that you can do with this headlight. This is a must-have for bike night as far as I'm concerned. So the other thing that you're going to need, which does come in this kit, but if you didn't want to purchase the whole kit, is you're going to need this controller. And this controller is simply going to hook up to the battery box. It's Bluetooth and it's going to allow you to control, like I said, the patterns of the lights. So for today's video, we're only going to be putting the headlight in and the controller. In an upcoming video, we're going to do the rest of the bike. Unfortunately, it's too cold in New Jersey here to do the whole bike with the lights that need the 3M tape. So for today, we're just going to use the headlight and this controller. But I wanted to show you what comes in the kit. So in the kit comes all the LED strip lights. And these are all the ProGlow series, like I said, and it allows you to illuminate your whole bike. So enough talking, let's get into putting this bad boy on the bike. If you've never had the fairing off on a Road Glide, it's pretty simple, but I'll just show you how to do it. Now I'm only going to show you on one side because obviously it's the same on the other side. You're going to take these two screws out. I would consider, if I were you, leaving one of these in, doesn't matter which, because at some point the fairing is going to become completely loose. I like to keep one of these in here so the fairing doesn't fall, and it allows me to take it off without having to risk the fairing. The other thing you want to do is cover your front fender, just in case something like this, it either falls or you're not paying attention, you could scratch the fender. So let's go to the next thing we need to take off. The next thing you want to do is get to the screw that's under here. Now I'm just going to use a simple pick, because these grills are a little difficult to get off. So all I'm going to do is put the pick in here. You want to be really gentle with this. You just simply want to pry it up. As you can see, it's starting to come out. And we're just going to work this out with the pick. This is probably the most difficult part of getting the fairing apart, at least for me. So we're just going to put the pick in here. pull a little more, and as you can see, it just came out. So we're going to be really gentle as we bring this out. Now that we have it out, you can see there's a gasket here. We're going to want to put that back in when we're done. You're going to have a bolt right here. So the next thing you're going to do here is take off the bolt that holds on your turn signal. Now this won't come off. This is actually attached to the fairing, but this will come out and free it up. And then lastly, you're going to have one more screw to take out on this side. Now I've switched sides of the bike, but it's going to be the same concept. You also need to take this bolt and this bolt out here, and that's going to allow you to pull the fairing off. So this is going to be your last step. So as I said earlier, this is the last screw. This is going to bring the fairing out. This is something you're really probably going to want to do with two people, but let's assume you're not. Just put your hip into the fairing here, and you want to hold it, because the last thing you want to do is drop your fairing, and then this turns into a $1,500 install. So we're going to take this out very gently. We're going to take the trim lights and just roll them back. Take off this plastic piece here. And again, depending on how you have yours set up, it may be a little different. I have XM radio on mine, so we're going to have to take the fairing up into the bars, or rather this top piece of the fairing. So once this is off, we are just going to lay this back here, because this does not have a quick disconnect that I can get to yet. So before you can free the fairing, you're going to have these two connectors right here, and these connectors are actually attached to the fairing. So we're going to simply disconnect these, and that's going to allow the fairing to come free. Because if you do not do this and you try and take it off, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in a position where you're not going to be able to get the fairing off. So we're going to take this off gently. We're going to need to take off these two screws, this screw, and same thing on the other side. Now I have the vent trim in here, so keep in mind yours may or may not look like this if you don't have the light. It's going to be the same concept. It's going to be these two, this one here, and the same thing on the same side, on the other side rather. So this may be a little bit difficult to see, and I didn't realize this is going to be the last bolt. It's going to be in here, so you're going to have to work that out, and then the whole assembly is going to come out. So now that we have the headlight out, again, you want to protect your fender. All we're going to do is just pull this connector up, and this frees the headlight from the assembly. So now that we have the Harley light out, let's get the Custom Dynamics light in. We're going to do the same steps in reverse. So we're going to make sure the light is up in the correct direction. We're going to go ahead and plug the light assembly in. Snap that down so that's in properly. Then what we're going to need to do is, because this is the ProGlow version, we're going to need to route these two connectors through the fairing here. Now again, if you don't have the ProGlow version, this won't be an issue, but for the ProGlow version, we're going to go right through here, and that's going to give us the ability to hook up the controller. So again, this is just going to be the reverse steps to save time. I'm going to do it. It's just going to be exactly the steps that we took, but in reverse order. Right, so here's the part that's going to be a little difficult to see, but we ran the wires, and what I did is made sure that when you turn the forks, it's not pulling on the wires. And then what we're going to do is we're just gently going to work our way back. This part's going to be really hard to film, but the idea is that we're going to take these cables and work them along the frame here, underneath the tank, taking our time and working them back, and then we're going to have them come out underneath the tank. So like I said, you just kind of have to figure out what's going to work for you, but we're going to work these cables back, and then we're going to get up to the tank, and I'm going to show you how the rest of it goes. All right, guys, so what I did is I added another extension. So we basically used two extensions to get the cables, and what we're going to do is just sort of tuck them up under here. Now, if you really want to do it a little bit more complicated, you could take the tank off and do this. I'm finding for me, it's just easier to run them this way, and you could zip tie it up. I probably at some point am going to pull the tank and really clean it up, but under no circumstances do you actually have to do that. You can just run these cables along the frame here, and you'll be fine. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've run the extensions, as you saw, underneath the fairing there. Now we need to take out these two bolts, and we're going to lift the tank up. What I did do is, you can't see in the video, but I moved the handlebars. You kind of want to jiggle them around a little bit so you can get the most lift out of this. But once this comes up, we should have a lot of room to work. So we're just going to back this out. And once we have that out, we can lift the tank, and you can see how much room underneath this tank we're going to have to work. We're going to run the wiring underneath and right over to the battery where we're going to hook up the controller. So now what I've done is I've taken out the ProGlow controller, and I've taken out the Y adapter. Now that we've had these two cables through, we're just going to hook them into the Y adapter here. Super simple. Hook up the other side of the Y adapter, and then we are going to take this single cable and we're going to plug it into channel 1, which is what controls the front of the bike. So we're going to take this here and hook this up, and now all that we need to do is hook the controller and the switch. So we need to hook the controller up to the terminals and then hook the switch in, and we will be good to go. So now that we have the controller hooked up to our lights, we're going to go ahead and hook this little switch up, and that switch is going to hide. You can pretty much put it anywhere. I like to put it behind the fairing or the deflectors here, so that way you can just reach up and turn them on. So what we are going to do is red's going to go to red, black's going to go to black, and then on top of that we have this blue cable, and the blue cable is going to go to the red positive. So we're going to attach this here. So the blue cable here is going to go with the red to positive, and then black is going to go to negative. And to make it easier, depending on how your bike is set up, I'm going to take the back off here for the ECM cover. What that's going to do is give you a lot more room to work. You can get to the negative on this bike, but you can't get to the positive. You can pop the other side off here. So now that we've got that ECM loose, we can just wiggle this out of the way, and we have a clear shot at the positive terminal. So what we're going to do now is hook up the last power connection, which is power to the brick. We have the terminal set up, and then for this switch, I'm going to fish it down, and I'm going to put it under the air deflector here. So what I did is I went ahead and fished the switch under the left side of this deflector here, and it has 3M tape included. So all we're going to do is press this up and secure it here once I find the perfect position, and you're all set. And like I said too, with this switch, you don't have to put it here. I find it to be extremely convenient here because you can reach down and pop it on and still stay on the bike, but you could put it really anywhere you want. So I'm just going to go ahead and secure this over here with some 3M tape and clean up the system, and I'll give you a quick demo. So we have everything in and we're wired. The only thing we need to do now is turn on the bike. The first thing you're going to notice when we turn the bike on and we turn the switch on for the lights is that the lights are just going to flash random colors, and that is because we are not connected to the controller yet. All we need to do now is connect the app, and I'll give you a demo of how they work. So now we're in the Apple Store. I'm just going to go ahead and download the app. Now the app's downloaded. We're just going to open it up. First thing, we're going to allow it to access our music. That's another thing we'll get to later. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights on. Now that the lights are on, we're going to hit choose device. We're going to select ProGlow. We're going to hit scan. It found my controller. We're going to click on the controller. I'm going to go ahead and power them on. And you'll see it stays the one color. And I'm going to select zone 1, and you can see as I rotate it around here, it's going to change the color of the lights. I can also go into chase mode, and you're going to see the lights spin. I think that's really cool. I'm going to go I'm not going to go as in depth with this video as I did with my Ultra video. If you want to check out all the tricks that the controller does, you want to check out my Ultra video, and that would be a link But you're gonna be able to do all kinds of patterns with this that I really like. And I'm gonna give you some night shots so you can get a really good idea of how this is gonna look. We can do chase mode. You also can get these to dance to your music if you want. So then what I can do is go into theme, which you saw earlier, and if I click on white 2, that's going to turn the front lights white. As you can see, it has 1 and 2, the zone selected, and what that's going to do is we add other lights, it will control those lights as well, so all those lights will be the same color. So now that they're white, let's take a look at what they're going to look like with the headlights on. And now you can see with the headlight on, it gives it a very aggressive pattern. I really like the way that it looks. And now you can see it's in the pure white configuration. We're going to go ahead and change it, make it do some dancing. You can put it ride mode, which keeps it solid. We can do it in strobe mode, which is actually really cool for a bike night. We can put it in chase mode. So it gives you a lot of options. And I really like the way this works. The next thing we're going to do is show you how it looks at night. It really has a really cool look at night. The other thing I wanted to add too is you have a battery monitor, so you can turn that on. So if your lights go below 11.5, it will shut them off. So if you want to leave it on bike night, walk away from it. The other idea that you can do here is the brake sync, which I really like. If you hit the brakes, and I'll have to wire it up for that, when you hit the brakes, the whole, not the front, but the rest of the bike, if you have the kit installed, will turn red. So it brings a lot more attention to the bike when you go to brake. So next thing you know is I'm going to shoot some B-roll and show you what it looks like at night. So as we wrap up this video, we're going to run some B-roll at night so you can really see what the system looks like illuminated. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have and you're looking for more install videos from Custom Dynamics or other things that I'm doing to my Road Glide, I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing to the channel. Huge thank you to Custom Dynamics for supplying the lights. Let's roll the B-roll at night. And guys, thank you for watching, and please remember, you're not alone.